Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Today's video is a video that I was not actually really excited or planning to do until I spoke to the owner of this shitbag company. This is a company called Acme Revival in Colorado. They are a repair business that seems to... we're going to get into this in a few. So the reason this company ended up in the news is because there were a lot of customers saying that they were getting these high storage fees after declining repair or saying that they didn't want to get something fixed. And this was, I believe, for a set of binoculars. I could be incorrect here. I'm 90% certain that this guy had a $89 diagnostic fee and then a $4,900 storage fee for his for a set of binoculars. And we're just... There was an Xbox that racked up over $3,600 in storage and legal fees. You can actually see projected cost of litigation collection as a fucking line item at $947. Now, I did get to speak to the owner of the company, so I did give him his right to reply. And as with Linus, oh my God, the more context I get, the worse it is. The same way it's like, well, he didn't play the whole clip. And then I play the whole clip. And I listened to this section about how, well, Monday Night Football doesn't cancel their entire event so that they could have a retraction that's 3 hours for the surface. And it's like, bitch, nobody was asking you to cancel your fucking thing. They were asking you to do a 90-second alert on the same channel that you promoted the bullshit product on to say, hey, these people are kind of screwy. Here, I got the context. I'll even show you the context on screen, and I will let you decide whether you think this is a good idea on how to run a repair business. So let's read the article here. A Colorado device repair company is changing some of its policies after a recent court decision. Acme Revival, which filed at least 85 cases in Colorado courts against both businesses and individuals, claimed that some of its customers abandoned their devices, resulting in thousands of dollars in storage fees and unpaid diagnostic charges. Last year, the company began filing lawsuits against those customers, most of whom do not live in Colorado. Jefferson County Judge Keith Goman dismissed 47 cases against out-of-state defendants, saying the court did not have jurisdiction in these cases. Following that decision, Acme Road changed some of their policies. We immediately implemented some changes, said Logan Beck, Acme Revival's owner and CEO. We have respect for the court system. While we disagree, the comments that were made have led us to make changes. For customers like Gus Mansato, the judge's decision was a weight lifted. Acme's website shows that Mansato sent an Xbox for repairs last year and racked up more than $3,600 in storage and legal fees. I think you guys shining the light on that really helped, said Mansato, so I appreciate it for you guys taking the time. An Acme Revival email sent to customers states that because of the court decision, the company will deduct storage fees, and once the diagnostic fee is paid, the device will be shipped back at Acme's expense. You've got to give these guys credit. They just don't see right from wrong, in my opinion, said Gled Weber, who said he won't be sending Acme Revival any money since the case was dismissed. Weber shipped the company binoculars for repair last year and accrued thousands of dollars in storage fees after the company could not repair the binoculars and would not dispose of them. While the storage fees are no longer listed on his Acme account, the legal costs still remain. I think this is the dark side of the internet. I think you have to be careful about who you contract with, said Weber. I want to compliment all of you. I think that this restores my confidence in journalism. I think it's an incredibly valuable institution. This is a perfect example of why it's important to communities. Meanwhile, Beck said he will likely waive legal costs, but he is looking into liens if customers don't pay diagnostic fees. He told Denver 7 he investigates. He is also dropping defamation lawsuits related to online negative reviews for now and plans to appeal the judge's decision on jurisdiction. Obviously, we think it sets a dangerous precedent for the state of Colorado that if you're an internet company, or really any company, and you're doing business with customers out of state, you're going to have a hard time enforcing your contract in state courts, said Beck. Jefferson County isn't the only court that has ruled against part of Acme Revival's contracts. Last year, court records said that a Denver court found that the $25 per day storage fee was unreasonable and lowered it in multiple cases. I understand that the optics, perhaps, of charging these storage fees to the general public, the overall optics may not be great, said Beck. But we were inundated with hundreds of positive messages at the help desk of people that have been in small business and had empathy for what we were going through, and shared their personal stories about how they felt frustrated when customers exploited their services. The original article over here. The 2,800 square foot repair facility in Conifer is filled with electronics equipment and several white tables where repairs are done. However, owner and CEO Logan Beck said most of these electronics are not currently being repaired. They're being stored. Some customers have a tendency to abandon their electronics, Beck said. Most of the devices here are beyond the 15-day grace period. In a news release last October, the company described the issue as device abandonment, saying that customers send their broken devices, but once they get the diagnostic and repair quotes, they decide to not pay and say they don't want their item back. Now, Acme Revival is suing dozens of its customers for unpaid storage fees, while some of those customers are fighting back in court, alleging fraudulent business practices that target online customers. Well, I will first say that these aren't customers. Customers pay, Beck said, adding that 30 to 40% of customers were delinquent on payments. Remember this part, 30 to 40% delinquent on payments. Remember that part. It's called Acme Revival. We're trying to revive electronics, not dispose of them. Does this sound familiar to anybody that I've talked about that has a certain contempt for the people that either watch their content or do business with them? Beck said many of the devices contain personal information and it is difficult to purge the data. On the other side, some customers have contacted Denver 7 Investigates to say there is more to the story than customers not paying. I am very entertaining at Christmas time with this story, said Glenn Weber. I call it the binocular gate. Speaking with Denver 7 Investigates Florida, Weber's story starts with his favorite pair of binoculars. I believe I actually typed in binocular repair. An Acme repair showed up on the internet, said Weber. I keep going back and forth between Weber and Weber. I apologize. I haven't had a good breakfast this morning. Who shipped the binoculars to Colorado for repairs last summer. But Acme Revival's website showed that the repairs were unsuccessful. Weber wrote Acme. Oh my God, I apologize, bro. I am so sorry. My brain is just out right now. Weber wrote Acme saying that the company should give away the binoculars as seen in an email thread provided to Denver 7 Investigates. A representative responded, we can dispose of your device, however, you are still responsible for the diagnostic fee. While Weber disputed the amount of the diagnostic fee, Acme responded to him in an email writing, you just did not pay within 15 days of notification that the repair is not possible, and also you are now being billed storage fees as you did not pay your bill. The storage fee was $25 a day. It was probably $300 or $400 now for the binoculars that originally cost $300 to begin with, so I said, I'm not going to pay them. This is insane, he said. The issue did not go away, though. In September, Acme Revival filed a claim against Weber, alleging unpaid fees. In October, court records show that Weber attempted to mediate it in court, but Acme did not respond. His storage fee is now almost $5,000, according to his account on Acme's website. That's not including the legal fee portion of it, because remember, when you look over here, one of the line items is projected cost of litigation/collection. He's in good company. Acme Revival has filed at least 85 cases in Colorado courts against both businesses and individuals, including David Leary in New Jersey. Last May, Leary sent Acme Revival a broken projector that he uses for his work at a gymnasium for children with special needs. At the time of the site, there was no obligation. There was no, hey, you're going to pay for this. There was nothing, said Leary, who alleged in court records that the price Acme Revival quoted to repair the projector greatly exceeded its fair market value. And then you write back, yeah, that seems too much. Please, if you wouldn't mind recycling it. Then they go silent. Leary said initially he had no idea he was being charged $25 a day in storage fees, which have now added up to $2,950 according to his account on Acme's website. We're regular people trying to go through a regular life with special needs children, Leary said. So it's almost like the powers that be are coming after this information and are hoping you will just pay and walk away. He said he also became concerned about sending his electronic banking information because the site does not accept credit cards. Remember that one for later. It's his attorney, Jeff Russo, working pro bono, is countersuing Acme in a New Jersey court, alleging fraud and theft. In a legal complaint, Russo wrote, the entire scheme is designed to leave unwitting customers with the impression that they have no choice but to pay what amounts to an illegal ransom. I, at one point, was getting 5 to 10 phone calls a day from people throughout the United States telling the exact same story, Russo said. As we allege in the complaint, there's these hidden terms which you really have to be hard-pressed to find. And I will let you decide if that's the case when we go over their document. He said customers filing complaints online are trying to circumvent the legal process. As a way to gain advantage in their civil case, they're going to run a smear campaign against Acme. And perhaps that's why you're here, Beck said to Denver 7 Investigates. Remember, it's all about him. You see that? It's him. There's a smear campaign against him. They're all going after him. That poor guy. I think that you may be here on behalf of unsophisticated defendants that think they might be getting an upper hand on their civil case by going to the media or going to a regulatory authority, when in fact this is a contract dispute, a simple contract dispute. Beck said that they have already reached settlement agreements with dozens of customers. He said they're not a junkyard for unwanted electronics. We want to work with the customer to settle this. We don't want to take it to trial, said Beck, who disputed the allegation that storage fees are how the company makes money. I find that just to be an absurd allegation. If you know anything about litigation, you know it's very expensive. The fact that folks think we're somehow preying on them and that Acme is a predator in the situation in a scheme to profit is just asinine. I'll discuss that later. But many customers, such as Weber, disagree and are preparing for the court battle in this upcoming week. And yeah, there are so many angles to come at this from, I honestly don't even know where to begin. The first one is the most important one. I have a video that I did about 12 years ago, Control Yourself to Control the World, Why It's Right to Be at Fault, Even If You Are Not Wrong. And Eli the Computer Guy has a video titled Being 100% Right and 100% Fired. If you take a look at his contract, I will show you over here, it says what the bill is going to be, and then when you scroll down, it does say that the storage fees will be $25 per day. If you take a look at their website's terms of service, when you scroll halfway down, I believe it's number 12, it says that there is a premium storage fee of the device, and they do link to the storage policy over here, which tells you what the storage fee is. as well as what it is going to cost you for the diagnostic fee for the device. That information is there. What I'm talking about in this video is taking accountability and responsibility for things so that you can actually have some sort of control over your business and your life. If I have a customer walk in and I think that person's a dick because we said we would do something for $50 when we actually said $250, I could think to myself one of two things. Behind door number one, okay, that part is $150. You're saying that we should do the repair for $50. You know there's no way I said that because the part by itself was $150, and you're saying that I should do this for $50 because when we didn't say 50, we said $250? You serious? And I could just say there's no way I could have won there. Behind door number two, I could have a consultation with my store clerk that answers the phone and say, could you do me a favor on the phone and say $250 instead of $250 now? Because I listened to his phone call recording and you did say $250, but I could see how if there was bad service, maybe he heard that as $50. See, one of those is saying there's nothing I could have done about this thing and washing my hands of it and saying, look, I have the phone call recording because I have the phone call recording where I can say that he said $250, I'm right. Or I could do the thing that's actually going to positively affect my business. I could say, listen, I'm not wrong, but let me take fault a little bit here. Let me think about how I could have done things differently so that my interaction could have been differently into the future. And that's why, in my opinion, we have online reviews that look like this or like this. Archive.org get even before YouTube fame, 4.9 stars on Google, and pretty damn high on Yelp as well, because we take accountability and responsibility for many aspects of the customer experience. I'm not going to point to, well, look, I have the phone call recording over here. This is what the contract says, because even if that's technically true, it doesn't fucking matter. Being 100% right and 100% fired. It's true as an employee, and it is true as a business owner. It's a simple contract dispute. That's the only problem. And then he starts talking about how, look, people are just then he becomes the victim. This guy is suing 50 or 80 people. He is giving them bills that are literally $5,900 for a fucking set of $300 or $500 binoculars. But he's the victim. He's the victim. I don't respect people like this. I have none. Yes, cry me a river with your $89 diagnostic fee for shit that you don't know how to fix. Do you know why my company does not take in every single device under the sun with a $90 diagnostic fee? Because that would piss off customers. I don't know how to fix binoculars. I know as well that there are many devices out there where the cost to fix the device, and 90% of the time, is about 2 to 3 times the actual worth of the device in the used market. You know what I do? I don't take those devices in because I know it's going to piss my customers off. I don't have a diagnostic fee for $89 for a bunch of different repairs for devices that I'm probably not an expert in. I also don't take in every single device under the sun because there are particular devices where the cost of fixing it is probably going to be 2 or 4 or 10 times the cost that the device is worth on the used market. And if I don't have that knowledge, I'm likely just going to piss off a bunch of customers by taking in the devices, charging them $89 when there's a 1% chance of me actually fixing that device in an economically viable way. By the way, when you don't pay that $89 fee for the quote of $400 to $500 to fix your $300 device, we're going to charge you $25 a day. Yeah, technically it's in your contract. Technically it is in the contract. Do you understand the concept of being 100% right and 100% fired? Review after review of I can't hear back from them. I paid the bill and I spent 3 weeks trying to get a live person on the phone. Over and over and over again, all across the internet, you'll hear that people are not able to get in contact with these people. They're not able to engage with them as they do with a business that answers the phone and answers their email. But let's just make the assumption right now that this company has always picked up the phone on the first ring, which I have my doubts about. That if it responded to everybody's emails within 5 minutes, which I have my doubts about. This still is not okay. On the phone, part of this right to reply, the context, is about e-waste recycling. He wanted to make a point. It wasn't even about the money with the legislation. It wasn't about the money that he was going to get from any of these individual customers, because you are paying lawyers and you are paying costs and you are taking time away from your business to sue everybody. It's about making a point about people leaving devices at businesses. It was about making a point when it comes to e-waste recycling, that many people in the e-waste recycling industry do not actually recycle the e-waste properly, even if you pay them to, and that he does not want to become an e-waste recycling company. He wanted to make a point. When you have a business that has a 40% delinquency rate, by your own admission, a business that does not accept credit cards in 2025 because you're that afraid of getting a chargeback. Yeah, I wonder why somebody like this is scared of taking credit cards and dealing with chargebacks when this is the reputation they have for service. When you have a 40% rate of customer delinquency, when you're sending 40 to 80 to 100 of your customers to court, is there ever an internal check? Is there ever that gut check of what am I doing? What is wrong with my business? What could I change about our customer acquisition? What could I change? Maybe I could have a conversation with these people before sending them in. Maybe having a blanket $89 diagnostic fee and taking in every device under the sun, even if I'm not really that confident that I understand the economical viability of repairing that particular product, might just be something that's not a great fucking way of doing business. And I was talking to him and he said, don't you have contracts at your business? You have a contract you have people sign, right? Don't you want people to obey it? Like, bitch, you missed the fucking point. I have a contract at my business, but I also set up my contract and my terms in a way where I am not bringing myself to the point of suing 30 to 40% of my fucking customers. I'm not at the point of suing them for defamation. You know, this is a blog post that I made back in 2013, way before any sort of YouTube fame or this story came out. Stop suing review sites and work on your business. If you want to read it, you go to rossmangroup.com/cry-more-motherfuckers stop using review sites. I'm not kidding, that's the URL. rossmangroup.com/cry-more-motherfucker-stop-suing-review-sites. And this can very easily be applied to customers as well. There were repair shops that were suing review sites because those review sites had things up about their customers that were not true. I'll read from this. Every dime you spend on an attorney, every second you spend in court is a waste. This is time and money you could put into improving your business, and you're spending it crying to online journalists. I do not see the sky falling when I receive a bogus bad review because I understand the reality of social media. If it's not the norm, it'll be buried under the truth in no time. I don't put time and effort into suing the douche that made something up. I put time and effort into impressing the people who walk into our business, so the negative sinks to the bottom. If I'm doing my job right, that's where the negative belongs. I'm very direct. I don't come off as the traditional professional. We're not the cheapest. I wear a t-shirt to work. We have no gimmicks, very plain looking store in contrast to many slick-looking competitors. Yet somehow we maintain an amazing online reputation, at the time of this writing at least. My point is not to brag with this statement. Rather, I want to get across the point that if I can do it, so can you. Put down the lawsuit and take charge of your business and your life. 12 years later, I still believe the exact same thing to be true. We had less reviews back then, but it was still 4.9 stars. You can archive that organ. And we had good reviews over here. You read through this guy's reviews everywhere, and there's like hundreds upon hundreds of horrible, horrible reviews. And he was saying the reason he was suing for defamation is these people were saying that our entire business model is just taking storage fees and not fixing things, and that's not true. That's technically not true. And honestly, I believe him when he says that. I believe that he did not create a repair business with the intention of making money off storage fees. I think he's digging his heels in because he's pissed off at this issue. And here's the thing. People are allowed to have an opinion about your fucking business based on how you do business. If you're going to be the bitch, be the whole bitch. If you want to sue 80 of your customers, if you want to send people $5,000 storage fees for fucking binoculars, they have the right to leave a bad review and say, this is what I believe this man's intentions are. You set that into motion with your actions and your business plan, you stupid fucking idiot. And if you want to sue me for defamation for anything that I said, the last thing I said on the phone before I hang up on you, I dare you to try. It will be the fucking end of you. This stuff annoys me. Because this man shares an industry with me, an industry that is already attacked by most manufacturers as it is, an industry that if you read r/Apple or Mac rumors is accused on a regular basis of screwing people, even when we don't. You are not helping the cause here, sir. Not at all. The end of our phone call, it ended with this ridiculous shit where he says, can I just take all these devices from my business then and bring them over to yours? Why can't I? It's like, you fucking manipulative piece of shit. I don't take these things for the same reason that I don't take in DJI drones for repair. The same reason that I don't take in clock radios for repair. The same reason that I don't take in furniture for repair. Because that ain't my business. I ain't in the business of taking other people's e-waste. But there are people who are in the business of taking your e-waste. If you want to have a policy, if you want to be the bitch and say an $89 diagnostic fee for something where I have no fucking clue what the cost of repair is. I have no ability to actually estimate whether or not this is going to be economically viable for you. But I want to get that $89 diagnostic fee regardless of having any fucking clue if it's economically viable to repair. Then you be the whole bitch and you accept that customers are likely not going to want to pay that fee, may not pay that fee, and may leave something there. You are technically, by the legal terms, in the right to bill them. And here's the thing, I'm going to ignore every single review. I'm going to ignore 100% of the reviews where people said that they could not get in touch with you, that they did not get an email in time, that they emailed saying, okay, I'm going to decline whatever here, but I actually had to go to this other website to do it. I'm gonna pretend that it was very, very easy to contact you. I'm gonna make a giant leap over here that you have 5-star customer service. You respond to people's emails in 5 minutes or less. You always pick up the phone. That shit don't go to voicemail during the day. You get back to voicemails immediately. Let's assume all that stuff's true. You've set up your business model in this way. You realize that it's not working because you have a pile of shit. So rather than change your business model, change the way you do things at all, you continue with a 40% customer delinquency rate. You start suing all your customers, and you believe that what you're doing is setting an example. You're making a point about e-waste recycling. You're making a point about people leaving stuff. That's the context. Do with the context what you will. You can look and see this exhibit over here. This is a repair request. I've blocked out things because I don't think you need the name, email, or IP address of his customer. Reportable power stations will bill $45 an hour. I'm interested in seeking repair of my EcoFlow 1300. And at the bottom of this over here, this is the 2-page thing. This is we finalize your repair allocation. At the bottom of it, it says the storage fee, the diagnostic fee of $25 a day. It's there in writing. The thing is, if you put that there in writing, if you have 40% of your customers not doing this, maybe you put that at the top. Maybe you say, hey, by the way, just so you know, even if this is not economically viable to repair, you still have to pay the $89. And if you don't, you got to pay that $25 a day. Maybe you put it on the top of the paper. Let's say you put it on the top of the paper and people still don't pay you. Does it ever occur to you that when you're the only repair shop in this entire fucking industry, I've been in this industry for 16 years. When we have a customer that doesn't pay their bill, their shit goes into a box. We use those parts for other repairs. We tell them, hey, pick it up, pay your bill. They don't. Goes into a box, wind up using the parts for other shit, zap their data, 20 volts to the SSD, boom, I'm done. We use their parts for other people's repairs if they're willing to take used parts, and we call it a day. There are people that are licensed that will actually deal with e-waste. So what I'll do is I'll pay $50 every 3 to 6 months to a year with the money that I made off of running a business that doesn't have a reputation for being shit to people, and I will use that to dispose of my e-waste. Once I've taken that e-waste and I've made several $1,000s off of the parts that work, I'll pay $100 to $200 to a licensed e-waste recycling firm to take all the shit that I could make money off of. That's what people in this business do. That's what every repair shop in the country to some extent does. In 16 years in this business, I have never in my life heard somebody file dozens to hundreds of lawsuits against their customers, charging them 10 times the original worth of the fucking device because of storage fees and everything. Like, it never fucking occurs to you in your head that maybe you're doing something wrong, that nobody else has this problem, but you do. You're right. You got what you wanted. You got what you wanted. You made a point. You're in the news. People are talking about you. Probably not for the reason that you want. If you want a successful business, don't be like this guy. Don't avoid self-reflection at every turn. If you have bad dating experiences, you don't say, oh, women are bitches or crazy. What you do is you think, if every person I go out with is like this, what am I doing to choose them? What am I doing to attract them? What the fuck does that say for me? Let's think about it. Like, which one of those do you think is going to get you a better dating experience? Which one of those do you think is going to bring you closer to having a partner that you like? If you have a 40% delinquency rate at your business, and you are suing dozens to hundreds of your customers, and you're ending up in the news because of it, what do you think is the right thing to do? Maybe look what's in the contract over here. Or saying, what could I do about my business? What could I possibly tweak about my customer acquisition process? What could I tweak about my intake process so I'm not the only repair business in the country ending up in the news for suing dozens to hundreds of their customers? I'd probably make more money in the short term if I had an $89 diagnostic fee for a bunch of shit that I don't know how to fucking repair. I'm sure I would. There's a reason I don't do that, because I know it's going to result in a bunch of people being pissed. And it doesn't fucking matter what it says in the contract at the end of the day. What matters is that nobody will want to do business with me, and my business will look horrible. I will be a shit stain on the industry. I'll make the industry look bad. I'll make every one of my peers look bad. People will question whether or not they should use repair shops in general. You're not standing up for the rights of small business owners. You're making all of us look worse by not taking accountability or responsibility for anything. Now, I'll give you an example of this, and I'll give you, because I mean it when I say I don't think this guy is looking to rip people off. I think he's doing what all of us All of us as small business owners have done in the past. Tell me if anything like this has happened to you, where you feel that lizard brain, caveman shit, where you just want to take a club and mack somebody with it. There was, I'm never going to forget this, a long time ago. There was a person that showed up that said, we said it would be $50 for a repair. And the cost of the part for this particular repair was somewhere in the $150 to $175 range. We charged $250 plus tax for this, $250 plus tax for this. Yeah, I just made the mistake that I'm going to tell you about. He says we said 50 plus tax. I don't think my receptionist said that, but whatever, I can be wrong. I go back to the call recording, I listen to it. Receptionist said $250 plus tax. And he says 50 plus tax, and she says $250 plus tax. So he comes in and he says, we said 50 plus tax. Now, I get mad at this. I think, this part is $150 to $175. You've called around and you've heard everybody else tell you it's $350 to $500 for this. We said it was $250. Like, come on, man. I got aggravated at this, especially when I played the call. And there's one or two things I could do in this situation. I could play that call every single time in the future that a customer says we said 50 instead of 250. They were dicks. There's nothing I could do. I can't control the fact that they were dicks. I have no control over my own life, no control over my own business, no influence over the outcome whatsoever. I am a victim, and there's nothing I could do. I didn't do anything wrong. Well, behind door number 2, I could have a conversation with the receptionist, and I can say, how about this? Every time you give a price, do not say $250 plus tax. Say $250 plus tax. $250 plus tax. This way, there is no gray area. There is no area for somebody's wishful thinking in their head to take $250 or bad cell phone reception to go from $250 to $50 plus tax. Because wishful thinking and selective hearing is a thing when it comes to being in the repair business. I have an entire video dedicated to selective hearing and wishful thinking. It is titled Wishful Thinking and Selective Hearing, the Mortal Enemies of the Repair Shop, where I say that something is $250 and you hear $50 because you want it to be cheaper. And in your brain, somewhere deep down, it actually erases the two. But you can erase it if it's more clear. So I had this basic conversation. Say $250 plus tax rather than $2. It's been 10 years. I haven't had that issue ever again. Little things like this. Little small things where I say, listen, I am not wrong, but let's just make the assumption that I'm at fault. I'm not wrong, but let me just assume I'm at fault so I can figure out what it is I can change so that I don't deal with this into the future. That's what pisses me off about this. It's not don't you have contracts at your company? Yes, I do. And if there's something in my contract that results in 40% of my customers saying, fuck this, I didn't know that was there, I didn't agree to this, no. Maybe there's something I'm doing wrong. Maybe I should think about that a little bit. Maybe I explain it in this different way. Maybe we say it verbally. Maybe we look into why it is that thing is so fucking contentious that 40% of my customers are delinquent. Maybe we look into the idea that there's something in my contract that's so horrible that I have to not take credit cards as a business in 2025 because I'm worried about chargebacks. And then he sues his customers for defamation. People are allowed to have a negative opinion of you. They're allowed. I have people that leave negative reviews about me that are not real. I'm on the same website that he's on. So I'm on trustpilot.com, at least not anymore, but my old company is Rossman Supply Group, went out of business in 2013. There are reviews here. Some of them are real, some of them are not. That's a real review, real review, real review. This was a real review from somebody that, in my opinion, was kind of being a little bit of a dick. But whatever, real review, real review, real review. This company went out of business in 2013. This website was down on January of 2014. Yet somehow, I have 2-star reviews from people in other countries in August 7th of 2020. September 21st, 2018. I bought some stuff on September 17th. My card was charged immediately, but the cart in the website wasn't cleared. Of course it wasn't, because you bought it September 17th of 2018. You left your review December 21st of 2018, and my business went out of business in December of 2013. Of course this website did not work. It doesn't exist anymore. Am I going to sue Han Lee for defamation? No, I'm not. I'm going to move on with my life. I'm going to look over and see, it seems over here that I have over 1,700 5-star reviews. You know what? I'll be happy with that. And I'll spend my time in a productive way, running my business and continuing to improve my business and filtering out the signal to noise ratio. When you do that, you end up with a business that has this type of reputation, not just because of YouTube fame. It was like that long before. Or you can do the bitch route and cry. Never have any self-reflection. Sue review sites. Sue your customers. Or as I say in the URL of this blog post, cry more, motherfucker. Which one do you think is going to move you more towards success in life? It's a waste of my fucking time. I'm not going to sue these people that left me a 1-star review who said he's trying to scam me, when the reality of it is that the post office lost their package. I was liquidating everything because I was going out of business, so I refunded them rather than sending them. They're allowed to assign negative attentions to me, even though those are not there. And I'm allowed to write a little blog post on my website that explains it or reply to their review. If I have a 40% delinquency rate, I assume I'm doing something wrong. You hear this with relationships too. There'll be people that have horrible relationships throughout their life. And there's usually 2 sets of people. One set is all women are crazy, or they're just, oh yeah, all women are bitches, or some bullshit like that. Or behind door number 2, there are the people that actually do self-reflection and go, why did I choose somebody with these traits? Why did I stay with somebody with those traits? What does it say about me that I can't attract somebody with the traits that I want? What have I done in this relationship? How did I contribute to that failing? How is it that all of these other people are seemingly able to have good relationships and I'm not? Maybe I should self-reflect. I'm not mad at people for failing or for fucking up or for doing something stupid, but it drives me insane when people have no concept of self-reflection, of maybe what they're doing is wrong, whether it's with their interpersonal relationships, their romantic relationships, their businesses, or their life. Take some accountability and responsibility. Is it the rest of the world or is it you? This is probably going to be an ongoing theme of the channel at this point. Is it the rest of the world or is it you? Do you want to take accountability and responsibility? Man up, become an adult? Or do you want to be a whiny little bitch for the rest of your life? I don't respect this. I don't. I have no respect for it at all. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think, based on the contract and everything else, that this is a proper way to do business? Do you think that having a diagnostic fee, somebody doesn't pay the fee for whatever reason, yeah, let's take 100 to 200 to 300 my customers to court? Or do you think that many of these reviews over here that said they were not able to get in contact with the person, that they stopped replying, and that they might just have a point, and this might just contribute, like that maybe it's not the rest of the world, maybe it's him. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. And man, as I said at the end of our phone call, if you want to sue me for defamation, be my fucking guest. I will have so much fun with that. You have no idea. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.